All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Over the Top Talk interviews. I got my co-host with me today, Anthony.
How you
How are we
doing? How you
doing
doing?
today?
Doing great, man.
And our special guest today, coming out of Chicago, is Mario. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me on the show. Thank you, Owen. Thank you, Anthony. And by the way, it's the Polish power, Mario Pardua.
Awesome.
Perfect. Just gonna start with our sponsors quickly. If you use our on SeatGeek, if you're ever buying a sports ticket, event ticket, anything, and you use Over the Top Talk as the code, you'll get $20 off your first purchase. And I'm gonna pass it off to Anthony for our next sponsor.
Yep. And a very special thank you to Rogue Energy. You use our code over the top talk and get 10% off your order and try the variety of flavors.
All right, so we'll pass the floor to you, Mario. Can you tell us and the people a little bit about yourself?
Um, my name is Mario Pardua. I'm a I'm a husband. I'm a pro wrestler. I'm a bartender, and I moved 5 years ago. June 1st is going to be exactly 5 years ago. 5 years. I moved to beautiful United States of America from Poland to turn my vision into reality and become professional wrestler.
All right,
Awesome.
perfect. We can get into our first question here. What inspired you to become a professional wrestler?
That's a good question. It's super. It seems like super easy question, but uh, what inspired me? I don't want to say that I always been kind of into wrestling or kind of crazy in a way, but since I remember, I always wanted to do something big, something gigantic, and I think it was just natural feeling to be respectful in a way as a man, as a growing up, in Poland when I was 15 and 16. Then I started paying attention more to wrestling, and then I thought at some point that I think I got something to offer. And I remember, and since that I was trying to figure out the way how can I start my professional wrestling career. And the easiest way was, of course, to move to United States of America. But at that time in my life, it wasn't that easy. I would say I couldn't figure out how can I get there, legally and with all the things going on in my life. But finally, I found a way, and the rest is history.
Mhm. Awesome. How would you say like tell us about your training, like the training you go through for wrestling?
Training my ego.
Well, just like training, like for your physical training and like mental training, anything you go through.
Um, I think physically it's really hard. I'm not gonna lie, but I never been an athlete. I never did any kind of sports. Also, I did a little bit of soccer when I was 14, I guess. I did some kind of breakdance stuff when I was later on 16, whatever. And then I did also mountain bike. I was cycling like in the mountains on the skate parks, doing all the tricks and everything. That kind of athlete I was. And since I remember, I always hitting the gym. Gym was my first love when I first stepped into it. And I always thought I'm ready to start wrestling, but I think mentally is much harder than physically, because you have to deal with so many things, whether it's a private locker room standpoint, especially I would say from for people who coming from the outside, who are international like I am. I remember when I moved here, I couldn't speak the language the proper way, and when I joined the Chicago style wrestling, the wrestling school, boy, I was super nervous. I was so excited, but I couldn't speak. Everybody was, of course, joking, laughing about everything. I couldn't get through it. I couldn't find myself for the first, I would say, almost a year. But I've been through it, and now it's I've completely forgot about it, because it's just a part of history. Now it's all ooby groovy and everything's going okay, I would say.
Perfect. What would you say is your favorite wrestling move to perform?
Rock bottom, no doubt. Rock bottom. I'm a huge fan of rock, as you guys can see scrolling my Insta, and yeah, the easiness and the perfect move in the world is rock bottom, which I called many times Mario bottom, or oh no, I'm sorry, Polish bottom, or Mario end. Took it a little
Awesome.
bit from Booker T.
hmm Awesome. Can you share any like memorable moments you've had in your career so far?
Memorable,
Yeah.
the most memorable moment. Um, Gosh, it's a good question, but I got to think about it. The most memorable moment, I think I would put myself. Gosh, guys, you got to think about it. I don't want to say I had so many, but one. I think my debut. I would say my debut because after my debut, I got so many good matches, many memorable, what meant a lot to me. But I think that when I did my first match, and it was 3 years ago for Chicago Style Wrestling, that was very special because I remember I was like everybody, I was extremely nervous and everything. But as soon as I got out, I went through the curtain. I just felt like I never felt anything like this before, and I think that kept me going until this day. Because obviously, when you wrestler or when you performer of any kind, it's the most stressful situation in the world before you're gonna go and perform. But as soon as you're gonna go through the curtain, it's just magic happens. Everything kind of disappears, and you just feel like fish in the water. I would say, in my case, in my opinion.
What would you say have been some of the challenges you faced?
Challenges. I think the most challenging thing, it was kind of like I mentioned before. I'm an international, and I couldn't speak the language the proper way. I couldn't, like hang out with kind of with the boys, with the guys, because I couldn't find myself. I always try to get a little bit earlier to home from the practice because everybody was hanging out and everything, and I kind of felt like I'm on the side. I'm not there yet, even though I'm still like much older than most of the guys who I'm training with. I'm 30 years old. I'm not that old though, but yeah, language barrier. That was number one, and the rest, like, I've been through some obstacles on the way because the culture is it's a big difference. It plays a huge role in it as well. But I think the language was very difficult to me because when I moved to the United States, I thought I knew how to speak English, but as soon as I went to the store or tried to get something done, no, it didn't work that way.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Who would you say are some of like the biggest influences or role models in the rest that like inspired you for wrestling and stuff?
I would say for sure Triple H, because since from what I remember when I first saw wrestling in the TV, I think it was Attitude Era, of course, and I think I saw as the first guy who entered the ring and did his entrance, it was Triple H. And looking at what he's doing right now, at the position where he is, tremendous, tremendous life accomplishment. So I would put him in the top three or top two. Number two, of course, is The Rock. Is my idol. I'm a huge fan of him. He played a huge role me moving into United States as well. And I would put also, I think, as a number three, I think I would put Dr. Tom Pritchard. I would say, yeah.
Amazing. Where are we? Can you describe how it feels to perform in front of a live crowd?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Can you describe how it feels to perform in front of like a live crowd?
You know what? I will tell you. I'm really kind of private person. I'm taking everything like really deep inside to my heart, and it's easy to actually like hurt me when let's say we're having a conversation or we get like face off whatever in the private life, of course. And I think that can translate to the business world of professional wrestling, where anything can happen and it's a lot of confrontations, and you have to just be the man and do what you got to do. But I think when you're in the ring, it just different vibe. I'm not a huge like speaker in front of people, in front of, let's say, my family or friends. I'm not a like top star on the top guy, and everybody's around me like, hey Mario, because I'm the guy. No, I'm a really quiet person. I'm always kind of on the side. And when it comes to wrestling, I'm in the ring and I just believe and I know anything is possible, and I can do anything I want, basically. Whether it's like good match, especially good promo, I'm not afraid to just grab a mic and do and say what I gotta say what I want to say, in the way that I wanna say. But when it comes to like going back to the curtain, going backstage, I'm kind of a little bit slightly different person than I am in the ring. I can't actually explain that. This is the fun part. I can't explain it exactly. Something magic happens when you're in the ring, and when you really love something and you wanna do it for the rest of your life. Can't explain it, man. Can't explain it.
Yeah,
Definitely. How would you say you deal with like negative feedback?
I will be honest with you. I never got almost any feedback in my life, because every time since I started, the feedback was usually from my coach, Steve Boss, which I love and respect. He's a good friend of mine. There was always kind of feedback like, "Good job, hey, thumbs up." That's it, basically. To be honest, nobody ever pulled me on the side and said, "Hey, you need to do this, and that," or "Don't do this, and this." To be quite honest, but as many people I asked about feedback, it was probably maximum one person afterwards, after the match, and it was just simply yes, no. This is what you got to do. Don't do it. And I'm just taking it, because I always try to. I'm not trying. I'm listening to the vets, to the older guys who paved the way that I can follow right now. And I think, by the way, you know when you did something good and you did something bad, like something not supposed to happen in a wrestling match. I think you very well know if you did good or you did bad. So not necessary feedback is necessary every time. But back to the original question, I think I deal with it pretty good. I don't have a like, I would say, any kind of attitude problem or ego problem when it comes to feedback. I think I'm taking it like I should.
all right. What is something you would like to accomplish in your wrestling career?
Well, my goal is extremely simple. I moved here to become professional wrestler and just work for WWE. I always said to my parents and my closest friends in Poland, if I'm not gonna be performing, I'm not gonna be the wrestler. I just want to work for WWE, whether I'm gonna sweep the floor, making the sandwiches, or whatever. Just give me the job, please.
That's awesome. Can you like talk about the physical toll wrestling takes on your body?
Oh, you know what? I'll be quite honest with you. I'm 30 years old. I started when I was 26 and a half. I would say a little bit over than 3 years ago. And at this moment, I don't feel anything that my body kind of showing me, oh, you have to do something less, or you have to be careful on your lower back or your knees hurting. Not yet. So I would say I'm pretty solid, built Polak. And for now, I don't have anything, any kind of pain who can show after wrestling or anything like that. Because for my whole life, I kind of train in a way like kind of, I know it sounds weird, but I trained my mind and kind of my body to be prepared when I'm gonna start my pro wrestling career. I'm gonna be ready more with of course with the physical aspect of it and a little bit mental, but you can be ready mentally for anything, right? So you can practice your mental health and everything what comes with it, like through the process. But you can absolutely you can prepare your body and your physical strength and how you look years before. I think, and that's what I did. That's what I tried to do before I signed with any. Before I joined the professional wrestling.
Nice.
It's perfect. What advice would you give any like younger person or anyone that in general that wants to get into wrestling?
Get into the wrestling. Just simple as that. If you love it, if you got passion for it, just buy training shoes, buy knee pads, buy elbow pads. Find a good pro wrestling school near your city, and just start training and see how it's gonna go. Because I think a lot of people like try or would love to become someone, and later on they got an opportunity to become, whether you are a musician or actor, you want to be the actor or be in the movies or professional wrestling, whatever it is. And I think when it comes to like the people can actually get in, and as soon as they get in, after a few weeks or a few months, they figure out, oh shit, this is actually, I don't think this is for me. I should take like different path in my life. But in most cases, it works totally opposite, right? But again, try, do whatever it takes. Dr. Tom Pritchard told me once, there's two type of people. One is they will do it, and the second type of people are they will do it whatever it takes. So I always say I will do it whatever it takes to get where I want to get.
Awesome. Have you had any like funny moments backstage or in the ring or with fans, anything like that?
Funny moments. I had funny moments with, I don't even know what is this guy. I had a show in Miami for CCW Coastal Championship Wrestling in a brewing company, and I had a match with top babyface over there, Cha-Cha Charlie. And I never seen guy being that over in a place. Never, ever. We doing the match, and he sent me off to the outside the ring, to the barricade, to the gang rails. And I took it, and I turned around, and kid, maybe 13, maybe 14 years old, but he looked like 8 years old. He tried to grab me, and he smacked me with his closed fist right in the face, right in my head. And it was so hard that I didn't know that I should sell it or what should I do. So I ducked, and then Cha-Cha grabbed me. He shoot me off. I reversed him. He hit the stairs on the outside. I'm sorry. And then I came back to that kid and I pointed on him, and I said something like, "Don't you ever do that again, because I'm gonna do something to you bad, really bad." And I got it on the video. Somebody posted that on the video, and it's really funny. And I remember a week after, Cha-Cha messaged me, "Hey, what did you tell to that kid?" I'm like, "I don't even remember." Something like, "Don't do it, kid," whatever. He goes that somebody posted on TikTok, and the video after a week had 500,000 views on TikTok. And then my buddy from California saw that video on a bar stool, and he said, "I'm going viral." So I said, "Okay." I never had a TikTok, I never had a Barstool account, but I guess we did a good job. That was the kind of funny moment, one of the funniest moments that I had.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
I will send you guys over the video later after we're done.
Yeah, we'll definitely watch that. How would you say you balance your personal life with like your wrestling life?
I think this is the hardest part you can do and maintain when it comes to like your business and private life, especially the crazy world of professional wrestling, which is super crazy, as you guys know. But hey, you have to be in the moment, and when it's time for wrestling, it's wrestling. When you come home to your beautiful wife, in my case, you just have to be, you're not superhuman. You're not the Polish power. You're still a little bit of Polish power, but you just Mario. You're a good husband. You listen to your wife, and you just go throw out the garbage and make some breakfast, and you guys live happy together, right? But no, I remember I asked Mustafa Ali about it when he was working with WWE. Of course, he had I think he has three little kids, and I asked him, hey man, how did you balance your private life and live life on the road for so many years? And he just told me, hey man, you just have to be superhuman, and there's no magic pill. You just have to be present and make your schedule really tight. Make sure you got time for everything. And yeah, it's really hard, but I think everything is possible. But in my case right now, I don't travel as much as I would love to, so my private life balance is solid right now. We will see in a couple of years how it's going to turn out. Hopefully not going to change.
Awesome. If there's any changes that you can make in the industry, what would they be?
I would love to bring WWE private premium event one day to Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least be a person who gonna be kind of involved in it. I'm not gonna say like I'm gonna book the arena in Poland or whatever, but and this is kind of also like a little dream of mine to perform as a WWE superstar in Poland in front of Polish audience, Polish fans of professional wrestling, because it never happened yet. And looking at the fact that I am currently the only one Polish guy in the business in the United States right now, anything can happen and anything is possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's all the questions we got for you. But for everyone we have on, we give them some time, like give some shout outs to like maybe like a fight coming up, social media, stuff like that. So we'll give the floor to you to do that.
Oh, absolutely. For all the listeners, you guys can find me on Facebook or Instagram under Mario Pardua. And I just would like to promote my upcoming match, which is May 3rd, Friday, Chicago, NWA. This is New Territory, Chicago. This is going to be second show in Chicago territories under the NWA. And finally, I'm going to get my chance to get a match and real title shot, because 2 months ago, unfortunately, NWA World Heavyweight Champion EC3 couldn't make it, and I had a scheduled match with him, title match, and I had to wrestle a different guy. But May 3rd, I'm gonna wrestle AC3 and Mims, both guys, NWA guys, very talented, very tough opponents, over the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So for everybody who's in Chicago, you guys can miss it. For anybody who can unfortunately make it, you guys can probably see it on YouTube or on NWA website, or you can see it. You can see me holding the title on my Instagram or Facebook. We'll see.
Perfect. We definitely wish you luck with that.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep.
And we thank you for, coming on here and, speaking.
Thank you
Yep.
for having me, Owen, Anthony. It's really, really pleasure, and I had a great time doing it. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, man.
Thank you.
Cheers,
And
cheers.
thank you to everyone who watched, and we'll
Yep,
see you
thank
in the
you.
next one.
Yep.